Now, students, the truss in the roofs here, okay? So I'm going to make a couple of assumptions here. One is that you're using a prefabricated truss, which would suit this building very nicely. And there's no accommodation space in the attic, obviously. So you will have to support tanks and air handling units and things like that, which the trusses should be able to do. So if that is the case, there is a family within the UK library that should suit us nicely to do that. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is show you this family here. So file, open, family. Okay, and you will find this in the UK library and down as far as structural framing. Don't go into structural trusses. That's a different type of truss altogether. Structural framing, truss members, and this is the one you're interested in here. So we're going to open that. Now, the nice thing about this truss is that it has plenty of parameters which allow us to edit the properties, including the span and the pitch and the size of the members as well. Okay, so it's quite a handy one there. So that is a pre-made truss. So we're going to load that into the project. Okay, and I'm going to go over to my wall plate level here. Now, escape. Select my roofs, and I'm going to hide these, okay, into the sunglasses and hide that element. Now I've got something to deal with here. All right. So I've loaded the roof truss in, and to find it, you need to come all the way down to structural framing, roof trusses, and here is the roof truss. So I dragged it into the project here. You can see it's on the end of my cursor. Now, if I hit spacebar once, it'll turn 90 degrees. So there it is. And I'm going to position this in the center of the wall plate at that point there. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. I'm going to flip that section so we can see what's going on here. Double click into there, and there's our truss there. Okay. So back here, off there. Right. So here's our truss, and what we want to establish is the kind of the distance from there to there. So there's another little thing that we have to watch out for here. I'll go into a 3D view here. And again, let's just take that and hide that element. Just come around here. So we can't have that extension coming through the fire break there. So that's just another little element you have to watch out for. So I'm back into my section, picking my truss, and I'm going to go into the edit type properties. Okay, so I've done this before. So 5600 is going to be the length here, and we're back to 35, isn't that right? And then see the overhang here. You can't put a 0 there, but I can put a 10 mil overhang and apply that. Now, let's have a look here. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Right, so here's the truss, and it's hiding in behind the actual roof here as well. Okay, so I'm going to align this, align to that handy little reference plane that Tom has. And if you just scroll across here, you'll find the center line of the truss, and that's lined up there. Now, so let's pick that, and let's take a look here. So if I hover over on the actual truss, you can see the lines there. Now, there's a little bit of a compromise here, okay? You can see that it is pushing in slightly into the fire break there. I'd prefer to have it clean, but again, if I pick the lines here, you can see that's our first roof, and this is our second roof here. That's our slate, and these are the battens that'll go on. So you can see that our roof is pretty good in terms of that there. So I might even be able to reduce the size of this a little bit more. And if I do that, it'll prevent that boom of the truss actually getting into that fire break. So I might be able to steal another 20 mil or something like that. So with the truss selected back into here, and we'll do 5580. Okay. And I need to line these up again. So it is, sorry, it's a line to this, align that, escape. Not locking anything as yet because I'm not finished. And again, I'll hover here now. So you can see I've gained a little bit there. And in terms of where the truss is, yeah, it's actually not bad. In terms of that, what's it like over here? Okay, so I'm coming up a little bit short here. That's going to sit on another wall plate. So I wouldn't want to go much further than that, to be honest with you. And again, so again, you would give the details of this to the manufacturer of the trusses, and this is what you'd be telling them, that you didn't want an overhang here. Now, there might be a little bit of on-site work to be done here, okay, because that is a little bit short, and that's the nature of this detail, if you like, because they want it like that. So it's quite possible that see the arm of that would be shaped to come down like that uh, onto the wall, and then similarly over here they might take a shaving off of that as well in order to keep it this side of the fire break. But I don't think I can squeeze that anymore, to be honest with you. Again, you see, if I put in an overhang to extend that boom out there a little bit, first of all, it's going to go down into the insulation here and whatever else, and I don't particularly want that either. So I'm going to sit my truss like so on that. So 5580 is what I've decided this is going to be. Now, the alternative to that is going into the truss, and this is probably what Tom was talking about, and editing the family. Now, I don't particularly want to do this, to be honest with you. So if I do a left view here, you can see all the various different parameters that are there that have allowed me to do that. I can go up to the family types here, and in the overhang, I put in a 10 mil there. You can see it sitting there. But if I was to chop that off there, I think I would cause myself a lot of problems. But look, let's see what we can do. Edit the extrusion. And again, so if you see, I'm heading into constraints here. So if I remove that constraint and this up here a little bit, what I would do there is fillet these two. Okay, take that one out. Now I just don't know if that's going to work or not. So I should do a file save as, shouldn't I? Keep the original there. So roof truss amended. Save that. So I'm operating on the roof truss amended here, right? Load that one into the project. And let's go into our 3D view. So escape. Let's take that one, hit the drop down box here, and hit the amended. Right, so we'll go through the same process here. I'll go into the section and take a look at that. Edit. So we said it was going to be 580. Sorry, 5 and 10 mil overhang. Yeah. Okay. Now, so I've got there's not made much of a difference now, to be honest with you, has it? Don't know where that was, it the left hand side or the right hand side. So it's not made much of a difference on that. So look here, I'm going to stay where we were with the original truss here. Okay. Just quickly take a look at that one again. gone back to where it was, really, hasn't it? So constraints are this one here in this case. So that up there, I've moved it 85. Let's see if we can do this again. Move that, save it. Okay. Changes made there will not be saved. Project saved. Doesn't like that. Not quite sure why it's doing that for me. Right. I'm going to just work with the one that I have. So what I was showing you there is that you can make little tweaks to the outline of the truss, but you're going to come across constraints that are there. You're going to have to remove constraints. The more constraints you remove, the less parametric that the actual truss becomes. So I'm going to work on that basis there. All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to go into the roof material here, right? And so I'm going to select it. I'm going to edit the group, and I'm just going to pick the under roof here and go into the edit type. Okay, and we'll edit the structure there. Now, Tom loves his air. So I'm going to swap that out. I'm going to come right down to wood down here. See the stud layer? I'm going to right click. I'm going to say duplicate with the material and the assets. And this is going to be called rafter layer, because that's what this is. It's an actual zone rather than having timbers in it. We're going to put the timbers into the zone, if you like. I don't want any pattern on this. Okay. And actually, I'm going to increase the transparency up here to about something like 75, something like that. Apply. Okay. So roof rafter layer, and it's set at 150. Now I can't change that because if I show you, I just finished this out. Okay. Finish. Right. So that should apply across the board there. Tom has these locked in place. Okay. So if I change the depth of that, it'll tell me that it's got to remove constraints and things will go awry from there. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it at 115. You mightn't see much of a difference here, but you will see a big difference when you do a 3D cut section or something like that. Now, so got my rafter in place, and that's pretty good. I'm kind of happy with that. You can see we've got a first floor ceiling level here. Perfect. Okay, so we can put a ceiling in, and we'll have a little bit of a surface cavity there as well. So I think that's working out. You can see the truss here as well, and see the top roof and that gap there. So that's where the slate is, and that's where the batten is. So again, we have plenty of room for that. Okay, so let's go into my wall plate level. And I'm going to take that and just using my arrow keys, I'm going to bring this one right up to approximately there. All right. And then I'm going to copy multiple. And what do we say these are at center wise? 600, I think. Something like that. And we can go up there. Let me do one more. Okay, so now we'll copy that, copy that, copy that, and say from there up as far as here. Okay, and then as far as here. Okay. There. Now, so I take this one and I'll just move it back so that it's at the edge, and I'll just delete that one. Now, let's take a look at that in 3D. So there is my trusses. Now, what I can do with those now is just group them and copy them across like you did with Tom already. But that is basically how we would do the trusses. Now, there's purlins and things like that to go in as well. But I think that will certainly get you where you need it to go in terms of that. Let's just turn on our roof. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll just go in and create a section box here. Right. Now, a little bit of shading on this here. You will see that what I want to show you is the fact that we can see, look, we can actually see uh, the rafter end here is because I created that transparency in that zone. That's why I went to the trouble of doing that. Oh yeah, it's going through the wall and in there. That's fine. Now that's basically how we will get the trusses into position like so.